Today, we're going to be covering 10 things that I wish somebody told me about copywriting before I got started, because this would have saved me a whole bunch of headache, a whole bunch of time, and I would have been on 10K a month a whole lot sooner if I had just realized these 10 things. Okay, now there's some stuff that no coach will ever tell you ever before. I'm sure there's some stuff that you've never seen before in this video. So make sure you stick around and implement these things if you want to make more money while working less and obviously enjoying that copywriter lifestyle. Okay, now the first thing, I just want to level with you and tell you that it is hard as fuck. This is going to be a long journey. I've been in the game for 5 or so years now, and it's only within the last 2 or so years that I've had consistent 10, 20K months, all right? Without the, the struggle and the grind and building my skills, putting in the reps, none of that would have been possible. So if you've been misled and led to believe that you're going to start learning copywriting fresh, you're going to quit your job, you're going to be traveling the world on 10K a month, it's a lie. Okay, that can happen, but it doesn't happen overnight, and you need to put in the reps, you need to build your skills, you need to build relationships, you need to do all of the things that you would in any other industry, any other business model. And so it is hard as fuck, it is stressful. You will have to let relationships hurt a little bit, you will have to let your health hurt, you will have to go through hard times, stressful times, doubting yourself, facing rejection. It is hard as fuck, and that's why it's the first one, because the softies that don't like that will click off now, and that's great. Let them click off. Let them go watch Tyson 4D and think they're going to make 10K overnight, all right? Because it's hard as fuck. They can go by his program. I know the smart people are going to listen to the rest and actually implement these things and see real results. Okay, so the next thing, and again, this is sort of, it goes against the copywriting dream that these coaches and gurus have sold you, is churn, all right? Now, I've retained clients for 12 months, I've retained clients for 24 months, but I've also seen clients churn after 3 months. The results have been similar, the relationships have been fine, but you got to understand that as a copywriter, sometimes maybe you're just required to come in and write a VSL. Once you've written that VSL, unless you're going to, be their CRO, unless you're going to come in and manage the list, unless you've got an obvious upsell path, that client's going to churn. So sometimes there's clients that just last a month. Sometimes there's clients that only need you for 3 months. Sometimes, like I said, there are clients that are going to keep you for a year, 2 years, whatever it is. But at any point, a client may want to change direction. At any point, a client may get tight on money. And so you have to expect a churn. And you want to get clear on what your churn rate is. Maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months. For the guys inside the magnetic client method, obviously we focus on having that 12, 24 plus months, client retention. And so our churn rate is a lot lower than everyone else in the market. However, churn still exists, and the more visibility you have on this, the easier it is to manage, and the less we find ourselves in that back against the wall, fuck like situation and position, because we always keep our pipeline flowing, we always keep opportunities there, we've always got referrals and things going on in our network, and that's everything that I cover inside the magnetic client method. However, churn is super important regardless of who you're working with. It's always going to be there, so make sure your pipeline's full, never stop outreaching, never think you're the king and that you don't need all of this stuff, because the second you think that is the second clients start churning. All right, now the next is that you could be a 10K a month copywriter right now. If you can land one 2,500 a month client, you can make 10K a month. The reason why you're not comes down to your time management. So how do you fulfill for every single client? How do you make sure that you get the same results while working the same hours every single day, so that we have predictable work days, you know how much you're getting paid for the hours by the laptop, and so that you can manage multiple clients? Because if after 30 minutes you grab your phone, if you need to have a cigarette and a coffee every 20 minutes, or if it takes you a whole day to deliver one small piece of copy, then your time management is going to be the thing that stops you. Doesn't matter how good your outreach is, because you'll only send so many outreach. Doesn't matter how good your results are, because you can only get so many results in a short period of time. So before you worry about any of this, how's your time management? Can you actually manage multiple projects at once? Are you organized? Because we're going to get into other areas that, cover you and your personality and stuff like that. But your time management is absolutely crucial. Personally, I love Notion. I love, little to-do lists on my post-it notes. I have a big notebook next to me all day as I work, where I'm ticking things off. Time management is crucial. You're going to get better with this the longer you're in the game, but if you can fix this from the get-go, you can make a lot more money a lot sooner. And this is probably one of the main things that caps a lot of newer copywriters. Now, here's something that no one likes talking about, but it's something that if you had, you would be a lot less stressed, and you'd actually be able to create a lot more because you'd be in a more comfortable position and wouldn't constantly feel like you've got your back against the wall. And that's having a rainy day fund. Okay, now Real wealth is just how long you can not work for before you run out of money. So right now, I've got between 3 to 4 years of expenses just sat there, so that if all my clients disappeared, I've got 3 to 4 years to figure it out. Whether that's to find new clients, whether that's to get more people in my coaching offer, whether that's to go and get a 9 to 5 if literally all else fails, I've got 3 to 4 years of a rainy day emergency fund. So if you're getting paid, I want you to be putting money aside for taxes. I want you to be putting money aside for investments. I want you to be putting money aside for your rainy day fund. Don't be that guy that gets one Stripe invoice, splashes it all, and then by month 2, when his client's churned and he hasn't been managed this time, he's going through a stressful period and he's got no rainy day fund, so you have to go get a job at Tesco. We want a rainy day fund so that you're always in a position where you can create and your back isn't up against the wall and you feel like you can't do anything. All right. Now, something that taught me all of this, the way that I managed to shortcut my entire journey, was by investing. Okay. You're going to have to invest time. That's the first thing. There is no way of getting the result of you want from copywriting without some form of investment. You're either going to have to invest a lot of time or you invest in a mentor. Now, investing in a mentor is what changed the trajectory of my career. I spent 6K on a mentor, and in the first month after that, I landed a 5K a month retainer. Kept that for 8 months, so it more than paid for itself, and that was just one client. I got multiple while working with that mentor. But like I said, if I didn't do that and I stayed just scratching my head trying to figure it out, it would have taken me double the time, double the headache, double the stress, and I would have got less results, therefore making the rest of the journey harder. So if you are looking for a mentor, you want to work one-on-one, actually have someone hold your hand through the entire process, show you what to do, when to do, and how to do it, then feel free to book a call using the link in the description. The shameless plug over, and let's get into the rest. Okay, now the next one, super important, is that your copywriting business is just a reflection of you. So if you're unorganized, if you're inconsistent, if you've got bad habits, it's going to show up in your business. So before you work on the business, you need to work on yourself. You need to work on you. What are your habits like? Are you addicted to dopamine? Are you constantly reaching for your phone? What's your diet like? Because for me, the way that I'm most productive is when I've got gym, I've got jujitsu, I'm having less sugar, I'm having less caffeine, I'm getting good sleep, I'm reading in the morning, I'm not picking up my phone. All of these things make this so much easier. Okay, so if you've got a healthy lifestyle, you're looking after yourself, you're looking after your mind, then your copywriting business is going to look after itself. So remember, your business is a reflection of you. And for the first few years, I didn't respect this enough. I was disorganized. I was all over the place. I was constantly reaching for my phone, and I would have got way better results in half the time if I just worked on myself first. So your copywriting business is a reflection of you, and don't feel like self-improvement isn't a part of this journey. As weird as self-improvement's got nowadays, it is crucial. You just need to listen to the right people. Okay. Now, the next thing here is that results over money, because everyone gets into this game wanting to make that 10K a month, wanting to travel, wanting to go do all of the funny, like crazy things. But that comes, okay? And the more results you get for people, the easier it is to get money. So if you just focus all of your energy on smashing it, getting a trophy for one client, then you can leverage that trophy to get multiple clients. So don't just rush ahead and think money, money, money. Think results, 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 and the money will always find you, okay? So focus on over-delivering for clients. If you've got to do free work to begin with, do free work to begin with. You're breaking through into a $1 trillion industry here. So make sure that you're doing it in the right way. You've got good foundations and you're setting yourself up to scale rather than chasing a quick bag and shooting yourself in the foot for the future. Okay. Now, again, how do we deliver great results? Because if you're just a copywriter in 2025, you're going to struggle. And so I think something else that really helped me that no one told me is that you need to have more skills than just copy. You need to understand, how to use software. You need to understand how copy is affecting your area, right? So if you're a social media manager, then you need to understand the use of copy on social media. If you're an email list manager, you need to understand the use of copy in the world of email. Okay, so you need to understand, Zapier integrations, how to use an email service provider like ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, all of these things. So you need to be more skilled in areas other than just copy, because if you're just a copywriter that's throwing some words in a Google Doc, disappearing, and then coming back and asking for another 5K like retainer or invoice, it's a harder sell. So if you can improve your skills in the areas around the service that you're just writing copy for, you're going to make more while working less, and actually learning how to use these things like Zapier, automations, all of that good stuff. It makes your life easier anyway, and it does save you time. So learn more than just copy. This would have been something that I would have focused a lot more time on a lot sooner, and it would have made me a lot more money if I had. The next thing is, this game is super lonely, okay? If you're just in your office like this all day, constantly just headphones in, hood up, typing away in a Google Doc, outreaching, doing this, doing whatever, you're going to be lonely, okay? I don't care who you are. People were meant to work with people. Even if you are like an introvert, lone wolf type, you would still have been in an office. You would have still have been in the workplace around people. And so find some friends in the game. Networking is super important, not just networking for opportunities, but networking to find like-minded people that are going through the same rainy day, that are also just lost a client, that are also going through hard times. Okay, I've got a group of, there's 4 of us, so 3 other friends, where we have weekly calls to discuss things like this. We call each other out on our bullshit. We call each other out and help us see things that we might have missed. So having friends in the game is an absolute shortcut. And again, if you're looking for people and you need a group, check out the description, because we've got a great group of guys that are absolutely killing it. Now, something that really, really affects the trajectory of your career is momentum, okay? And momentum beats strategy every single time, because with momentum comes consistency. And with momentum, you get 1 win that compounds into 2 wins, that gives you the energy to chase the 3rd, and those wins get bigger and bigger and bigger. Whereas the people that focus so much on strategy, they might have a great week, but then for 2 weeks they've disappeared. So focusing on momentum and keeping the ball rolling and stacking those wins, celebrating small wins, that is the path to victory. Okay, someone that turns up, like 9 times out of 10 across the week with a 5 out of 10 strategy will always beat someone with a 10 out of 10 strategy that can only turn up 5 times out of 10 in a week, So momentum, consistency, it beats strategy every single time. And momentum, stacking those wins, they're going to be the things that help you reduce your churn, that help you reduce how hard it is, that help you manage your time because you're constantly working, all right? Now, like I said, if you want me to help you with all of these things, if you want to go over all of the other things that help me get to where I am today, consistently smashing 10, 20K months, coaching a bunch of awesome copywriters, then book in a free, no pressure call in the description. It'll just be a 15-minute chat to see what's holding you up, to see, where you want to get to, and I'll give you an actionable roadmap to get there, either with or without me. So like I said, that's in the description. Check it out if you want to. Shameless plug over. I'd love if you could like and subscribe so that you can always get notifications when I'm dropping bangers like this. So I'm covering a lot more around outreach and everything that you need to build a successful copywriting business. So appreciate you. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.